close the doors, walk across the corridor. We got something to show you. Media is our repertoire. Fed up with the same news, no channel to use. Cruise control mentalities. Here we offer you. We gon' show you what you way. The content it never stays. We're positive and uplifting. Once a week the scope gifted. There's zero fake hydration like Boucher.
What is going on, my dear MediaScope Massive? Welcome to another week of MediaScope. Yes, another week of MediaScope. We are all things media, tech, and pop culture. You can find us here just about every Friday at all these places here. And we'll say a hello to everybody as soon as we get rolling. And guess who I am? My name is Tachi, media professor, filmmaker, media content producer, also a journalist. And I'm here to entertain and educate and uplift you all. So I thank you every week for coming by. We have a guest again. If you did not see the flyer, I don't know where you were looking, but yeah, and I only put it up 3 hours ago, but guess what? We decided that we enjoyed Terry so much that we had to bring her back. So we will bring her on in just a moment. For those of you that happen to be watching on YouTube, the tubing of the U, I would love it if you would like and subscribe and tell your friends and family and frenemies, I don't care, to like and subscribe because we have a lot of fun here and we want to expand the family. Though we are so thankful for the family we have, we always want to include more people into the mix. So let's go ahead and say hello to everybody who may be watching or on the replay or live on all of these different platforms. Bookface, how are you? Welcome in all the book faces that are there. And there's my personal book face, the Indie Soup book face, and also the MediaScope book face. If you are watching on LinkedIn, my personal LinkedIn, I'm happy to have you here. YouTube, you are doing what you do, and we thank you both to the YouTube on Indie Soup, the Indie Soup YouTube, and my personal YouTube. And then, of course, we've got Twitch, both my Twitch and the Indie Soup Twitch. And guess what? Next week, the good people at Gospel 107.1 FM in Nassau, Bahamas, and the rest of the Caribbean will have the good fortune of hearing this. We wish you blessings and hang tight. You'll get to hear all of the great stuff because you got part one, and then this is part two. So let's see who we have here already. Hey, Shawana Kennedy of Kennedy Media is joining us. She is an amazing part of Indie Soup Media. We are happy to have her here. Welcome in, Shawana. It's good to see you. Good to see you. And more people will be rolling in, as I know. So just hang tight and we'll get to the hellos and everything. But you know what I don't want to do is belabor the point by not having our special guest on stage. So yes, she says, hey, Tachi, how are you? Shawana, good to see you. All right. So with that, this is what we're going to do. I think we're going to bring Terry up on stage right after this message. Here we go. Terry Johnson.
Hello.
Welcome back. Welcome back. Welcome back. It feels like I just saw you. And I actually
did.
Oh, look
you
at
did.
My earring falling out and everything.
Oh my goodness. Everything is falling.
falling. I don't know why I have a back on it, but we're gonna have to fix that. But for right now, I look like Janet Jackson with the one. And as you know, she used to do the big one, and then
she had the earring with the key and.
Right, exactly. So I'm doing the Janet Jackson thing right now, but that's okay. I'll fix it while I bring you forward, and I'm going to have you to. No, but I feel lopsided, so you know we're going to fix that. Okay, we're going to fix that, but I'll have you as I'm doing that. I will have you introduce yourself to the audience for those people who didn't join last week.
What? You missed last week? Shame. Okay. Hi, everybody. I'm Terry Johnson from Terry Johnson Online. I'm a marketing strategist. I've worked in private sector. I've worked with the government. I've done a ton of things. So my background is marketing strategy, advertising, and I pretty much try to stay on top of the trends. all of the news and all of the outrage, the marketing outrage, and all the, oh my God, did you see this and that? So we have to stay on top of that, because marketing strategy is the way that you grow your business or brand online, So you got to keep on top of it with the latest and the greatest. And I help you do that on
She's
MediaScope. Not
on
on MediaScope,
MediaScope,
on any Soup Media.
Indie Soup Media. Well, today you're on
Yeah.
MediaScope, so that's all that
Yeah,
matters.
I'm on MediaScope. So like we're everywhere. Like, where am I?
We're everywhere, and that's the thing. So let's see how long this earring lasts up. I have the back on, but I may have to get another one. So anyway, I hope that everyone is doing well. Let's see who else we have here. Oh, and Shawana Kennedy is saying hello to you. She says, "Hey, Terry,
Hey, Shawana. Hey.
what is going on? It is wonderful to see you, Shawana.
Hey.
Shawana is an integral part of Indie Soup Media, as is Terry. She's got her show, and again, we'll put her show deets up at the end. So
Yes.
we've got a couple of things that we're going to talk about today. I want to start off with this though. So what do you think? Because this just came to me. So I ordered. I think everybody knows Zara, right? Everybody knows Zara, the clothing store, and
Yes.
recently,
Mhm.
very recently, they have started doing fragrance.
Oh,
Not
really?
that they didn't before. They've always
Okay.
done it. In fact, I had a Zara fragrance before that smelled like chocolate. That was really good. It didn't smell just like Hershey's, but it had some.
Okay.
It was chocolate with some other complex notes, and it was really good. And I just had the like
Mhm.
travel size of it. Well, they don't make that anymore, but they now have a whole, if you go to the Zara website, they have a slew of different types of fragrances. So I
Okay.
said, I recently, this is not even recently, I've always loved fragrance, but I think what got me started on my path toward lots of different fragrances is when I went home for Christmas one time. We went to the mall, and Bath and Body Works had a sale. Things were like $2 each. So you just rack up. And so this got me to say, you know what? This way my fragrances can last if I have enough to go through. Before that, I just had like maybe 3 or 4 that I would cycle through. But this opened up the world to things. So in my love of fragrance now, there was shall we call her an influencer or a
Yeah.
content creator who talked about Zara fragrances, and I said, oh yes, I'm going to try it again because I like that other one. So she went through a few and the ones
Mhm.
that she liked. But some of the ones I said, I could tell I'm not going to like that because I don't like one of the notes. So I
Right.
picked out 3 that I like because they're not super expensive. I picked out 3 that I liked. I'm like, I could have done without them. They're just okay. So when it comes to marketing, and not that this is the influencer that I was watching, it's not that it's her fault. I said, hey, well, maybe I'll try it again and see. And I didn't like necessarily what I picked. But when it comes to being an influencer or being a content creator and then making recommendations, how
Mhm.
how bad is it for the brand if they recommend things that are not necessarily well liked? And I'm not saying in this person's case, but I was just thinking about this in general.
Well, so we're talking, well, like, by the public or the influencer, or
No, the influencer likes them,
oh, the
recommends them,
okay.
not
Okay.
necessarily working with them as a brand partnership, but just likes
Okay.
them. And not that
Right.
they say, here, get this, but you see
Mhm.
it and you get influenced to, well, maybe I'll like it too. And you don't. And that happens quite a bit. Realizing that fragrance is a very personal thing. Everybody's body chemistry is different. But what does
Mhm.
that do to a content creator when they make, let's say, recommendations overall and they're not
Right.
well liked?
Right. It's a balancing act. The brand has to pick the creator or the influencer they have to vet them very well. It has to be almost a perfect match for the brand's goals and everything. Because, like you said, You saw this influencer, they talked about the fragrance, and they obviously sold it because you bought it, but then when you received the items, you were like, well, it's not for me. So in this case, I always say fragrance is something that I have to be in the store. That's why they have the fragrance people, salespeople. With you come in, you go into Macy's or whoever, and they spray. Oh, would you like to try this? And because fragrance is, you really can't sell that online. You can. And I'm glad you brought that up, because I was watching something about Tabitha Brown, and then she was on. So I went to her Instagram, and she was on HSN today, and she has a His and Her. Her and her husband have a His and Her fragrance. And
Yes.
it obviously sold, but it sells because she's a brand. Like, she has a built-in audience. They don't need to smell the fragrance, but people have bought the fragrance and have word of mouth online. And she used that when she went to HSN, and you go on and you pitch your thing and everything, and it sold very well. But that's kind of to me, I was like, that's an anomaly, because she's already got Tabitha Brown, this and that and that. So she's got a built-in group. They're just going to buy it because they love her. It just so happens that the fragrance smells good. But again, fragrance is a thing that is very, like you said, it's very personal. It's very, you got to like it or not. And I would not buy a fragrance from somebody, not even Tabitha Brown's. I'm not going to buy it. I have to smell it first.
Yeah, I've learned my lesson. I'm like, I'm not trusting anybody else's nose but my own, because I know what I like. Despite, and in fact, there was another influencer who just did a collab with Dossier. Now I buy lots of Dossier fragrances, and they did a special one, but I was like, something about these notes, I don't know that I'm going to like it, and I don't feel like returning this type of stuff. So I just was like, yeah, I'm just not going to. So I just wanted to hear from you about that type of thing, because I'm like, I just experienced this. So I wanted to know what you thought.
Yeah, see, it's kind of, when a brand is looking for an influencer to partner with, it pretty much has to be, okay, it's a good match. And it worked in this case with you because you bought it, which was like, the brand is like, well, there's a sale. Now, on the other end of that, as a brand, you don't want somebody to return it. You want them to keep it. So, but you returned it. So the marketing worked. It was just the product didn't match what you wanted. And it's also because it's like more of a personal thing, a personal item. Like, you got to smell it, and I have to smell it.
Yeah, no, absolutely. That's the type of thing that you really need to be in the store. But the thing is, when you hear people talk about these things, sometimes you're like, oh, well, that might be nice. I like that note. I like that note. But the problem is, different perfumers do things, or perfumiers, whatever it is, do things differently. So a note that is cedarwood here may smell very different in another. So I'm like, yeah, I know what note I don't like, but I can't just go by doing a blind buy based on the notes I do like, because the way they mix it, I might not like.
Exactly. There's the way they mix it. It's the type of oil. It's the ingredients. They may source it from different places. Like you said, it may be called jasmine or this or that, but it depends on where they got it from and how they blended it. And that's what I'm saying. That's one of those things where I'm like, okay, you kind of, perfume sprayers are kind of annoying, but if you smell, they do it because it's sensory. You smell it and you go, what is that? It's like apple pie or cookies, fresh baked cookies. What is that? Your nose is leading
apple
you.
Pie. Not fresh baked cookies.
But it's the aroma of sweet potato pie. Whatever it is that somebody's baking, there's a connection with your senses. You don't get that online. So that's why I was saying that this person, they sold it very well because you bought it. It's just that when you received it, it was like, well, this is not what I thought it would be, and you return it, which is okay.
And here's the thing. The one that she really liked, I thought I would really like too, but it's too, so this one, it's called something coffee,
Yeah.
it's really coffee forward. But when they
Okay.
described it, they had like coffee with milk chocolate and vanilla in it. So I
Mm-hmm.
didn't think it was going to be as coffee forward, but the first thing
Right.
you smell is coffee. And then on the dry down, it's coffee and some other things. So I
See
was like,
that?
yeah, I could have done without this, but
See
it is
that
what it
one, the
is.
description, you really have to sell it like you love coffee, not coffee
Yeah.
and chocolate and this and that. No, you love coffee. This is for the coffee lovers. If I'm a coffee lover, I love the smell and the aroma of beans. And when you make your coffee in the morning or whatever, you're gonna love that. But
Right. But do you want to smell like coffee? I think that's the
well,
operative thing.
not really.
Do
But
well, i- you may like because I like the aroma of coffee, but I don't
right.
drink coffee because it's not delicious to me. I just like but I
Mm-hmm.
do like some coffee flavored things like ice cream. I will
Right.
do like so that and then but the scent because it does smell good, but I think
Yeah.
let's just say this on me it wasn't that beautiful.
See, here
Let's
we
say that
go.
on
This
me it
is this is
wasn't.
the reason why you have the people in the department stores that spray the perfume, or they have the little tester, or they test it on your wrist, or because it has to blend with your body chemistry, and you won't know that online. You're just guessing in the
Exactly.
dark. So
Exactly. All right. So the thing is to trust yourself when it comes to these types of things, trust yourself
yes,
first
but the marketing
rather
worked
than,
because you bought it. You
yeah.
bought it, so the brand's
Yeah, the
like you bought it.
marketing worked. Even though
Yeah.
it was not, she was not working with them. This was not one of her brand collaborations, but she decided
Hmm.
to do this as content. And a
Right.
lot of people shop at Zara anyway. So I said, all right, well, let me try this out. I did like a perfume that I had from them before.
Right. See, you got the trust, brand trust there. So you
Correct.
you're already on the path of let me purchase because I know the brand. I've bought a previous fragrance. I've spent money with them. I've done this with them and it's been okay. Let me try this. But in this case it didn't work out because it's a fragrance which is more of a personal kind of thing rather a top or pants or shoes or an accessory.
Right.
So
Exactly, exactly. All right. Well, that's that. Let me take a moment to say hey to everyone. Hey, if you're just joining, my name is Tachi. I am a media professor, a filmmaker, media content producer, also a journalist, and you are watching MediaScope. This is all things media tech and pop culture. We're here just about every Friday at 8 p.m. Eastern Time. This is your Friday night hangout. So make sure that you are coming to us at 8 o'clock on Fridays to hang out because it's not just information, it's a hang. So thank you so much for being here. And if you happen to be hanging out with us on YouTube, make sure that you like and subscribe. Do us a solid. All right. So we are here today with the incomparable Terry Johnson from Terry Johnson Online. She is our marketing expert, and we are actually going to now let me explain to you why she's back. She's wonderful, but
thank
also we
you.
had other stories that we were going to talk about last week. So we just said, well, hey, why don't we just do a
Hmm.
part two, a continuation? So here she is, a part two for this wonderful, wonderful group of stories. So you ready to get started?
I'm ready. Let's go.
Okay, let's do this. So we are going to put this up. Here we go. Now, if you don't know who this is, do you know who this is? I'm sure you do.
I know now. I didn't know before. I know who she is
Yes,
now.
Sydney Sweeney. So you may have seen her name, and I didn't. Again, I didn't. I've heard her name before, but it's not like I follow her or keep up with what she's doing. But she's come under fire because of a controversial American Eagle ad. Okay, so what happened was they did an ad. As you can see, she has on denim. Denim is back in full force for some reason when it comes to fashion. So they did this, they're introducing denim, right? And it said, Sydney Sweeney in terms of the thing, and it said she has great genes. Now, it was a play on words,
Mhm.
but it also came off not so well because it also was kind of a play on words on genetics and
Yeah.
genes, like your
Yeah.
genetic makeup. And
Yes.
if you, as you saw, let's put her back up again. She has blonde hair. I don't know what color her eyes are. I think they're blue, but she has fair eyes. And in saying that she has great genes, it was an indication to some that they were talking about that being the standard of good genetics, which cuts off like 99.9% of other people because blonde hair and blue eyes is a recessive gene. So most people don't
Right.
have that, right? So it was
Right.
saying that this is the poster child for what good genetics are. And it came off offensively for some people. So this is what we're talking about here. This is the well, let's just talk about this first part of it, then we'll get into the rest of it. Thoughts from you?
Okay. Um, like I said, I didn't know who she was. I know of the brand, and all of a sudden we've got this big brouhaha, kerfluffle, and people are like, and so I see it as the times we are in culturally and politically, whereas
Okay.
this seems like and especially with the end of DEI and all of that other stuff, it seems like another slap of, oh, she's got good genes because she's blonde and blue-eyed and the all-American, apple pie, da 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 da, that this certain group wants to have represent in media when the world as we know it is changing. It's been changing, but there's this pushback now of we want to get rid of that. So that's the other side of this. And then, of course, the tongue in cheek play on words, which, it's a secret, ha ha ha. And we're like, no, we see it. It's not flying over our heads. We know what you're saying. We know what you're saying. So that's where the outrage comes from. See, this is the thing that some brands play on this. And I think American Eagle knew what they were doing. They knew what they were doing, and they were like, okay, we'll get some controversy going because it gets attention to our brand. Nobody's been thinking about us, but they're talking about us now. And then to
Absolutely.
add to that, I did a quick Google because I'm not paying attention to this. I know what's going on, but uh CNN had an article, I think it's to the third. The American Eagle stock surges 25% after Sydney Sweeney's Good Genes ad campaign boosts the brand. So they got what they wanted. They got a stock surge. They got an increase in
Got people
revenue.
talking about them.
Got people talking about it, good or bad. So they're happy with it. They, this is a corporation. They have to increase the sales. So
What?
they
So let
go
me
ahead.
go ahead. No, go
No,
ahead.
you
Go
go
ahead.
ahead. No, I was just going
Okay.
to say that this hit all the goal points for them, the KPIs, key performance indicators that they have, because I
Yeah.
think this was a earnings report Wednesday. And okay, here it is. So this is the first line. American Eagle stock surged 25% after its earnings report Wednesday, with the CEO thanking the controversial Sydney Sweeney Good Genes ad campaign for boosting brand awareness and profit. And there's a quote from him and da 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 da. But this is what they want. Kids are going back to school. Got to buy school shopping fall. Who was thinking about American Eagle before? Maybe the people that shop there, but now everybody knows about it. So the CEO is happy.
Yeah,
Mission
absolutely.
accomplished.
And so a couple of things with this. Let me talk about what they said. So on August 1st, after the controversy began, they released American Eagle released a statement on Instagram and they said this: it is and always was about the genes with a J. Her genes, her story. Will continue to celebrate how everyone wears their AE genes with confidence their way. Great genes look good on everyone. So that was their explanation for that. Well, first of all, let me ask you, I think they really were trying to do a double entendre. They can say all they
Yeah,
like, they weren't. I think that's what the case was. But
yeah.
is this type of thing wise in the climate that we're in now? We've already got a whole Target boycott, permanent sabbatical by lots of people. People are really annoyed by things these days, and rightfully so. Was this a
Hmm.
good move for them? Maybe in the short term, but people tend to have long memories, especially now. Was this something that was a good move in your opinion?
Well, I would say revenue wise, business wise, it worked out. Um, American Eagle knows their audience. They took a chance because they know their audience, which is, like I said, it's not everybody that have something to say about it and didn't like it. That's not their core customer. That's not their audience. They were never probably going to buy anything anyway. So the corporation goes, hey, we're golden because we got this point across. Double entendre. They knew what they were talking about. The tongue in cheek. Ha ha, the little joke. Isn't it cool? So they got their what they wanted. Also, remember, I didn't know that they had a deal with the football player. What's the guy named? Travis.
Travis Kelsey.
Yeah, so they have something with him. So that kind of boosts the sales. Also, again, who's the core audience? It's
Yeah.
not they're not getting the same people that the Gap are getting. The Gap has and the Gap did a response commercial, which I thought was really clever and cool. And the Gap showed who they're about.
Absolutely. So
it's
yeah.
about taking sides. It's about sides. It's about the Travis Kelsey people, the Sydney Sweeney people. If they weren't customers before, they are now because they get it. And American Eagle was like, okay, let's do this thing where we're going to be controversial and we're going to get this. We are going to get backlash, but those aren't our, we don't want those customers, or they don't care. I don't know the emotional reason behind it, but they're like, okay, we're going after this group of people and we're going to do it this way. Why? I don't know.
Right.
I wouldn't do it that way because everybody wears jeans, but American Eagle decided to do this. So, but it worked out for them because they're happy with their, their stock price and their quarterly earnings. And, it's pretty much you're going to be on. I'm going to buy Gap. I'm not ever going to buy American Eagle, or I'm going to buy American Eagle, and I'm happy with it because of this commercial with Sydney Sweeney and the stuff they're doing with Travis. So those people will be happy.
Absolutely. So let's talk a little bit about the Gap commercial. Well, first of all, you hit something on the head. That was not the people that are upset with this are probably not their core audience. Like, I'm not buying jeans from American Eagle. Do jeans from American Eagle even fit regular people? So I that is not, they don't have Lycra in them. No. Why they make jeans at all without stretch makes no sense. But
they knew before they put this out. They knew what they were doing. They knew what they were
these
doing.
are for the
and
people
they took
that
the gamble.
Exactly. Exactly. So you've got that, and then this also kind of in a way parallels, remember Nike and
Colin Kaepernick, and they burned their Nike
in effigy, which was stupid. You paid money
and I was
for
like,
it, but
Nike didn't care because we already have your money. If you wanted to protest, take it back and get your money back. But see, they're not smart enough for that. So,
well, exactly. And then the other thing is, those people that burnt their stuff were not the core customer of Nike anyway. And they understood this and knew this, which is why they stood behind that decision to keep them like, we don't care. You're not our audience anyway.
Yeah. One, we already got your money. Two, you're not our audience. And we, if you're not happy with us, oh, well, we're still rocking because we're Nike. We're still good.
Exactly.
We're still golden.
Exactly. Yeah. Exactly.
So this is the opposite of that kind of like,
Exactly.
Opposite
Is it
of
the opposite
Nike.
or kind of the same thing in
Kind
a
of the
sense?
same,
That
but
is
maybe the
just
flip coin of it, or you know, American Eagle is
absolutely.
like, okay, we want to delineate, we want to stand away from that. And then again, remember the climate we're in. The guy in the White House had something to say about this very American Eagle thing.
He
He
did.
had something.
He
He
did.
thought it was fantastic. So there you go. That's all I needed to read. That's what they're doing. Does it make it right? No. This is the stand they're taking. But I love that the Gap came in. I think another company came in with their reaction video. Oh, you guys are gonna do that? Well, Gap is like, okay, we're inclusive. We're gonna do a whole rainbow, this and that, and their thing was better anyway. Their commercial was better. So
Exactly. Well, so let's talk about it because the thing is, they did not mean to be a response to that commercial at all.
right,
It was
right.
scheduled to come out basically around the same time because remember, it's back to school. Autumn is
Yes,
getting
back to
ready to
school.
start, and
Mm-hmm.
so what do people think when it comes to back to school? Denim. And so
Yes.
everybody is just bringing out all of their back to school things, denim, etc. That's the first thing you think about with back to school. What new jeans
Yeah.
and such can I get? So it just happened to come out around the same time. So it felt like a response
Yeah,
in
it
a
felt
sense.
like a response, and Gap probably, and I'm glad that they saw the gap of, ooh, there's controversy going on. Let's get in there because our thing is totally different. So let's get in there, and instead of getting a little bit of attention of back to school, let's kind of make it okay. Let's get. Is it ready? Is the ad ready? Is the commercial ready? Let's get it together. Let's push it out now. Maybe it was supposed to come out in a week or two, but the powers that be, very smart marketing teams, that push it out now while the iron is hot, and it worked because it seemed like a response. But like you said, these things are planned way in advance. So they took the opportunity. They saw the ball and they ran with it. And I was like, hey, Gap, you guys are in there.
Exactly.
In
They
there.
took it and they ran.
They ran
So
with it.
well they ran with it like it was a football, right?
They
So
ran with that. They made the play. So
So let's look at that. What did that do for even though this was unintended, what did that do for the Gap as a brand?
well, again, I felt like this was the Gene Wars. I think there's another brand that had something, an ad or something. I have to check and see, but it was I'm like, whoa, this reminds me of the chicken sandwich wars with Popeyes. And
Oh,
back at
wow.
everybody was getting their chicken sandwich. It was the war of the chicken. It was Chick-fil-A and this and that and that. They were going. It made great social media play and banter. So this is kind of like it's kind of like the Gene Wars. And the jeans, the denim, not jeans, the jeans where American Eagle was
Right,
trying.
like
But
genetics, right.
yeah, but see, this is the thing. You all of these brands, they have in-house or they have advertising agencies. They sit around and think about controversial things, and they decide, can we go edgy, or can we walk the line, or can we stay on the safe side of the line? And when you have an advertising campaign like this, you present more than one thing, and then the client, which in case American Eagle, they decide what they want to go with. So American Eagle decided they wanted to do this. They knew, or they all know. They all know. I've been in plenty of meetings. The discussions and the things that have been said, I'm like, oh my God. But this is what they do. So this is,
Yeah,
this was one of the plays, and the CEO ran with it, said go with it. And then, this is the opposite of Cracker Barrel. We were talking about that, and I was like, well, the CEO should have been like, $700 for this little Canva square. I mean, this little thing that was made in Canva, $700 million. Oh, okay, yeah, let's sign a check on that.
was it 700 million or 7 million?
It was 700. No, it wasn't 7 million. It was 700 million campaign. Because they gotta redesign the logo, they gotta do the things, they gotta get the signs out to the places, they gotta do the menus, they gotta do a whole. I think it was 700 million because I think we talked about it last week. Let me
Why
double
was I
check. I think
thinking
it was
7
700
million?
million.
In terms
Nope.
of the compensation
7
that
million?
okay.
No. The ad campaign, the changing of
The
the logo.
campaign, not the compensation of the CEO. That's what I was
Oh,
thinking.
no. The
Okay.
ad campaign. What the advertising agency charged Cracker Barrel was $700 million.
And stupidly, Cracker Barrel paid it after looking at that.
The CEO signed. She's the
She
the
said
buck stops with her.
she signed
She
off on it.
signed it. Oh yeah, this looks good. I believe I read an article where the founder of Cracker Barrel, I think 93-year-old, I forgot his name. He didn't like it. Of course, he didn't like it. It was a plain square, and we talked about this last. It was
Yeah, we talked
plain.
about
It
it
was
last week.
700 million. No.
He was probably like,
So
"Where's
yeah.
Herschel?" So what happened to Herschel?
What happened to Herschel? So yeah, I mean, the CEOs are they're the ones that decide. They're the ones that decide. American Eagle CEO say, yeah, let's run with this. This is good. This is great. And
So
you see what happens.
So we saw this is the American Eagle ad that was seen, and then that she has good genes, right? So this is
Yeah.
what, and it's a play on words, obviously. But
Yeah.
again, it didn't sit well with some people. What I want to do is show the commercial that Gap did, and that campaign is called Better in Denim. So give me just 1 second, and we will put that up. All right, here we go. All right, can you see this?
Yes.
All right, we should be able to hear it. Tell me if you can't hear it as well. Here we go.
My milkshake brings all the boys to the yard, and they're like,
You know what? I'm going to pause it because
because of the music. Yes. YouTube.
Right.
Yes, I understand.
So this is I didn't realize they used a Khalees song in here.
Yes, they did. Which I thought this was really good, but they already had this plan. Now they might not have had the music plan. That might have been a last minute change or whatever. But the dancing and the
Right. And then you see the diversity. So even though they did not intend for this to be an answer to the American Eagle ad, this ended up being an answer to the American Eagle ad.
Right. Because they released it at the right time. They probably released it early, which was smart.
Yes.
Because then it seems like the Gene Wars, which again, this is good for the Gap. Because now there's more focus on this. There's more focus on this because it seems like, oh snap, they did this is they did this. This is what we're doing, but they already had this planned. This was already in the can. So
exactly, and then it also says that better in denim. And here's the thing. Let me stop that. And the thing is, it's almost like we've heard the term better together, right? So better in denim, better together. It really almost speaks to the antithesis of what the American Eagle ad was. The better together type thing.
That was the divisive. That divided, because we're already divided. That just was like, oh, you really gonna do this? And they're like, but what? What are you talking about? What are we doing? It's just jeans. No, we know what you mean.
You know what you were doing.
No, we know what you're doing. You know what you're doing.
This goes to a corporate responsibility thing. In your opinion, what responsibility does or do companies have to ensure not necessarily just inclusiveness, but that their messages are landing in a way that is fruitful to the conversation? We didn't need any more division, but is that the company's, is that their task to take on?
Well, see, that's the thing. It depends on leadership. It depends on what the CEO wants or what the owner wants. In the case of Cracker Barrel, there's an owner, founder, and then there's a CEO. I believe the CEO was receiving $7 million a year, but the
Right.
campaign was 700 million because they had like 660 plus restaurants to retrofit, outfit, because they got to change everything. So that's where all the
Right.
money goes. So it really depends on the company culture, the CEO, what their mission is. Is everybody in line with the mission? Is the CEO a leader that somebody wants to get behind? And you have to realize a corporation is beholden to the shareholders only. That's all they care about. And after that, they care about the core customer, because the core customer is the one that's buying the product or service, bringing in the revenue. After that, they kind of go, okay, like with American Eagle, they're like, well, we're going to alienate some people. We don't care because our core customer is with us.
Exactly.
This is where we want to go. So they make a decision. You have to remember, a corporation is there for profit, to gain profit. It's not a nonprofit. It's not a charity, but they're giving. That some care, some don't. It's just the fact of how it is. But you, as a consumer, you vote with your dollars. Always vote for your dollars. So, like you said, now there's a line. Am I American Eagle customer? No. Am I a Gap customer? Yeah. Let me run down to the Gap. Now, I might not have been thinking about the Gap at all. Maybe I was going to go to Old Navy or some other place, or I was going to get something off of eBay or whatever.
Yeah.
But now I'm taking a stand by going to the Gap. So Gap likes that because they're like, hey, our bottom line is good. American Eagle is happy because their bottom line is good with their people. See?
Absolutely. But there's still, the thing is, there's still a division, even though we're like, okay.
Yeah, there's a vision. Some companies don't care about that. And you see what happened with all of them jettisoning their DEI programs because they didn't care. They didn't care. It was performative. It's better to know than to not know. So I know it's a bad thing and it hurts and everything, but I'm like, now I know. Who do I want to give my dollars to?
Right. Right.
Target? No. Target still hasn't gotten the message. They just swapped out their CEO and made him chairman of the board. He didn't go anywhere. He leveled up.
Yeah, he didn't go anywhere. So I'm like, this was performative theater at best. And the Tony goes too. So
so that's how they do.
Absolutely.
That's how they roll. That's how they roll.
So let's take some comments. We have Pradnya, who is joining us on LinkedIn. What's up, Pradnya? Good to see you. She says, happy to catch some of this. We're happy to have you here. Indeed. Yeah. She's joining us from the DMV, DC, Maryland, Virginia area. And she's talking about, we talked about the Cracker Barrel campaign last week, Pradnya, and she says, new Cracker Barrel campaign equals new Coke. Yeah, and we talked about that last week as well. Yep. And this is the interesting thing. We don't learn. Humans, we have a bit more evolving to do because we don't learn. The writing is on the wall. These things are laid out in terms of what not to do. And
they're going to make bonehead moves. They're still going to make boneheaded moves. So.
Absolutely. So, and then she also says, Gap got it right. Love my girl, Lara Raj. Yes, absolutely.
Yes.
I don't know if you saw, but we just showed the commercial. We showed all of it on mute.
So the marketing department, who's ever in charge of creative and pushing that out, they saw the writing, was like, oh, we got to get this thing out now. We can't wait. If it was going to come out in a week or two, too late. No, we need it out now. So they made that decision. Good push.
Right. And here's the foolish thing. Now, see, Gap is actually making a comeback, right? So for a while, they've been very stagnant. Other brands have been too, but Gap has been very stagnant. But this is part of their effort to kind of come back, to snap back.
Yes.
And it worked, definitely. And it came at the right time because it was the answer to the American Eagle thing. And the funny thing is, the people who were okay with the entendre of the American Eagle ad probably can't fit a thing in the store.
No.
Because it's not marketed for them. Otherwise, why would they have been using Sydney Sweeney as the poster child for this? You understand what I'm saying?
No, I know what you're saying.
It may be called American Eagle, but it's not geared for the American body, although they do have differences in sizes, but not like Gap. So Gap is also size inclusive as well, right? So
Yeah. Yeah.
this happened to work out very well for Gap.
It
As
did. And
Prania
like I
says, they
said,
got
this
it
is
right.
the Gene Wars because I think Beyonce and Levi's had something coming out, and there's some other
Yes.
jean things. So jeans are very hot now when they weren't before.
It-
Like you said, there was Gap had a lull and Levi's had a lull, but then they all collaborated with the right people. Not American Eagle, but they're happy with
yeah.
their plate. They're happy with what they have on their plate. I was like, hey, enjoy your meal.
You
American
enjoy.
Eagle. Enjoy.
Enjoy your burnt chicken or
Yeah.
undercooked chicken, whichever, right? So enjoy it. So this is interesting. So for those of you that are just joining us, welcome to the fold. This is MediaScope, all things media, tech, and pop culture. And we actually are speaking with the incomparable Terry Johnson from Terry Johnson Online about marketing. She knows all about marketing, and we're talking marketing, media, and some recent missteps that marketing has had in the media and how you
Yeah.
can avoid these types of missteps
Yeah.
as well.
Yeah.
So
There'll be
there,
more in the future. There's always like I said, making boneheaded moves, not thinking straight, dumb moves. There's gonna be more. There's gonna be more fake
oh yeah,
outrage, and there'll be what's next. What's
yeah,
next?
yeah, yeah. You're absolutely right.
That's how it goes.
It is the ebbs and flows. Sometimes they get it right,
Yeah.
sometimes they get it horribly wrong. But I think the really big thing now is because of the political climate that we're in,
Yes,
because of the
exactly.
social climate that we're in, every
Mm-hmm.
little thing will be inflated. So,
Yes.
not that this has never happened before, but this is unprecedented in this country. And so everything hits a nerve. So you have to be
Exactly.
very careful. Even if you think you don't care, maybe you don't care now, but
And
people have
see,
long memories.
and things are different now because of social media. Everybody has a microphone. Everybody has a
Yeah.
soapbox because you have a phone. So that's the difference between now and said when when New Coke came out and everything. It was like outrage, but everybody didn't have a phone to get on their social media and talk. It would have been a much bigger thing. It was big, but it would have been a bigger thing. So that's what it is now. Everybody has a microphone, a soapbox to say their little piece, and there's nothing wrong with that. That's just the way it is. It's just as a brand, you have to decide what side of the fence are you going to be on. So, and again,
Yes.
I say vote as a consumer. I always vote with my dollars. That's what's happening with Target. People voting with their dollars.
Yes. Exactly. And that's the economic power is real power. So
It
I
is.
think people sometimes don't know what to do about things and they feel like they don't have a voice. Oh, you do, your dollars, because that's what makes
Yeah.
everything run. So you can vote with your dollars. All
Yes.
right. So
Vote
the
with your
other
dollars.
story, sorry. Go ahead. I
No,
didn't
go
mean
ahead.
to cut you off.
I think there's another comment from
Is
Pradna.
Oh, okay.
I'm sorry if I
Pradnya,
mispronounced your name.
Pradnya, yeah, it did not pop up. I don't know why I didn't see
Okay.
it. Okay, can someone please explain to me who this Sydney Sweeney is? I seriously don't know. You
I didn't
and
know
the
who she
rest of the
was.
world. I don't
An
know who she is.
actress? Is she an
Let's
actress? She
I
did
think she's an
something?
actress.
I
Let's
don't
look
know.
her up now. Yeah, she's an actress.
I don't,
So she is
I don't
an
know.
actress, and I don't know what she's she
What
had
was she
roles in
in?
Euphoria and White
Oh,
Lotus.
okay. Okay.
She's had small roles in shows like Grey's Anatomy, Pretty Little
Yes.
Liars, and
Okay.
uh, she's gotten supporting parts in Sharp Objects, The Handmaid's
Yes.
Tale.
Yes.
Um,
Okay. That's
yeah,
why. That's why. Those are pretty popular shows. So the Euphoria, that's I know of that because of Zendaya. So that group,
Zendaya, yeah, exactly,
Zendaya,
exactly.
that group, and what was the other one? The White Lotus is pretty has been pretty popular with
Popular as
the
well.
Gen X crowd, I think, a little
You mean
older,
Gen
but
Z or Gen
Gen
X?
Z, I think all of them like it. I've from what I've seen, I haven't seen the show. There's like some Gen Z people on it, and then some Gen X people on it. So
Well,
it
I
did
don't watch
not
any of
look.
it.
It did okay. It did not look Gen Z to me, but Gen Z might be watching. It's a pretty hot show. I have not watched it either. I just know the buzz. There's a pretty big buzz about the White Lotus
And
show. I
it's
think.
on Max, on HBO Max.
I'm not. I think so. Like I said, I haven't watched it. I just know the buzz.
Okay.
Like that's a show that everybody's buzzing about. So if she was on that, and she did the Euphoria, and she did the Handmaiden's Tale.
It's
I
a
haven't watched
Handmaid's
any of those.
Tale.
Yeah, I haven't watched any of those. But those shows are pretty popular. So that's
Mm.
why. But like I said, I didn't know who she was. I was like, who? Who is she?
Yeah, I didn't know either. So I'm like, but she is an
Uh,
actress, Pradnya, just in case anybody else cares or wants
Yeah,
to know who
if
she
you guys
is.
care. Yeah, but yeah,
Yeah, it is what
she's
it
gonna be
is.
all right.
Yeah, she'll be fine. She'll
She's
be
fine. I think
fine.
she's got a movie or something coming out now, I think. So
Yeah. Actually,
mhm.
what is it? She Christy is the Christy. I'm gonna cry.
Mhm.
It's in the
I don't know
Oscar
the
race at the
mhm.
Toronto International Film Festival.
Okay. I
Just
know she
came
has
out.
a
So
movie out. So
yeah.
yeah. And then something with Jeff Bezos. Something he backed her on something. So she was at the wedding. I know that. She was at the wedding and there was outrage about that. I was like, who? So
Okay.
so who?
Let's see. And she said, sorry, been more focused on Jason Momoa's assets on War Chief.
Well,
Yeah,
yeah.
absolutely.
Well, yeah,
Right?
yeah. Jason Momoa, yeah.
Of
Yeah.
course. Of course. Sydney
Most
Sweeney.
definitely.
Jason
Yeah.
Momoa.
Yeah.
Right.
So yeah, Sydney Sweeney enjoy, American Eagle enjoy. We're moving on.
Absolutely. Anyway, so thank you for all the comments, Pradnya. They're wonderful. All right,
Yes,
so
thank you.
we have the final story that we're going to get to it, which is great. So part of this, let me put this up. Where are you? Aha, Elf Cosmetics. Okay. So this is the story where what's that doll's name that you were talking about?
Is it Annabelle?
Annabelle,
I think it's
right?
Annabelle.
Yes. Yes, Annabelle. And then did you see the thing I sent you where somebody was doing like a meme of was being the
Yes,
doll Annabelle?
yes,
Yeah. I
yes.
was like, oh, this is why. This is who this is. So I was cracking up with that one. But anyway, this is the whole elf thing, right? And there's an article in Glossy magazine that actually kind of sums up the things that we were talking about, from American Eagle and Julia Sweeney to this type of thing. So what happened on August 11th is Elf Cosmetics debuted this campaign that you see here called the Law Offices of Elfino and Schmarns, like Celino and
Mhm.
Barnes, with an ad featuring comedian Matt Rife and drag queen Heidi in Closet. And TikTok went off, popping all over the place. So creators actually were on TikTok. Hold on, let me take this down so that they could see us. So creators were actually on TikTok doing things like throwing away their elf product, elf cosmetics, which stands for eyes, lips, face, their elf
Yes.
products. Others talked about dupes for elf products from other affordable brands
Mhm.
like Essence and Milani. But there were
Yes.
also videos defending this campaign as well. So apparently he is a comedian, and he made
Mhm.
some jokes that talked about domestic violence that did not sit well with people. So his
Okay.
explanation was he was trying to see, how far he could push the envelope, but that it was not funny with people. So it was
Right.
seen as a slap in the face for Elf now to be working with him on a campaign. What
Right.
I don't know is how far in advance that set, the comedy set took place before he actually did the ad. Because what we
Yeah,
have to understand is that ads are shot way in advance.
they
So
are.
they may be working with a particular, see, there goes my earring again. They may be
Uh-oh.
working with a particular, yeah, I don't know. They may be working with a particular individual or a
Right.
particular influencer, and then this influencer, whatever, does something, and it's like, okay, but we've already shot this,
Yeah.
unless it's something so heinous that they have to pull it. But
Right.
I they did not pull this. I don't know if they knew about the set or whatever. But so I just wanted to get your thoughts on this particular story.
And see, this is the thing. I didn't know about the ad, the parody, and I didn't
Okay,
know anything about it. But when I read the story and it said, what's his name, Matt
Matt
Rafe or
Rife.
Rife, I
I
said,
think it's Rife. Yeah.
why? I said, why is that name familiar? So I clicked through and it went to the article where he bought the Annabelle doll. And I was like, "Oh, that's how I know because I heard something about this comedian who bought the house and all the belongings, which was the Annabelle doll of this paranormal investigator who was taking this doll on a tour. And he died mysteriously. So everybody was thinking the doll had something to do with it. And so I was like, this guy he's a dummy. He bought all of that. But it comes to find out that the story came out this week that the paranormal investigator died of natural causes because he was in the middle of the tour with the doll. And the doll is supposed to be a horror doll or creepy or I don't know. I didn't look too deep into it because I was just like,
Natural
I'm not
causes. Go
I'm
ahead.
not I'm not into that. But it was just, it was like, why do I know that name? And then I was like, oh, he's a guy that bought the house because that seemed to be his kind of thing
Okay.
to
Okay.
buy. Oh, ha ha ha. Let me go buy this house and all of the belongings and the doll of this man who perished while taking the doll on tour. And now everybody's saying that it was because of the horror doll. And I was
Okay.
thinking
Okay.
like,
So
who that seemed to
yeah,
be his kind
well,
of thing. So
okay, so he's really he does sensationalism, right? He does things for
yeah,
shock value, it seems. I've
yeah,
never watched any of his comedy shows, but he had a
me either.
Netflix special in 2023. Okay, so here's the timeline now. The Netflix special where he made jokes about domestic violence happened in 2023. This ELF campaign is recent. So I think this is where the conversation is coming from and comes in. So here we go. Dee is here. Hey, Dee, how are you? Welcome. She's also on LinkedIn.
Hello.
LinkedIn is chiming in today. Good to see you. And Dee also
Yeah,
says, I know, I
welcome.
just read that. Wow. Yeah. So now that you have context in terms of when this special was versus when this ad campaign is this a good move by Elf?
Well, see, they're kind of caught in, and you said something earlier about, because they've shot the commercial and then the partnership ends or not ends, but okay, we've done this commercial, it's in the can. Now you go and do your thing. But see, here's the part I said earlier. You have to vet the influencer very, very carefully. Is this a perfect, I mean perfect. Is this a perfect match for our brand? Well, let me go investigate this guy and see what kind of comedian stuff he does. What's his jokes about? What is he doing?
Right.
What's going
Right.
on? And he's into stuff like that. He might do something that gives a blow back to our brand that we don't need. It's a headache we don't need. So now Elf has a headache they didn't need. All
Mm,
because why partner with this guy? Isn't there other comedians? I don't know the thought process, but these are the things you have to do. You have to it's like we're getting married. The brand is marrying the influencer. Do you want to know everything about your partner? Yes. Do you want red flags? No. So you Let me investigate. Let me see something. Let me ask some questions. Let me vet. Let me date. And then, okay, we got a brand deal. But, these are the things they have to do.
Yeah. So let
And
me
they don't
just
do that.
read a little bit from this glossy article. So Rachel Lowenstein is a brand strategist, and she said this in the article. While discussing the aforementioned, that apparently there was something with the Prada or with Prada ornaments, and then social media kerfuffles like Chanel's $825 advent calendar in 2020. No, never mind. Um, uh, that's a lot. But Lowenstein said the resulting rage likely had less impact on the companies compared to the impact felt by American Eagle and Elf after their campaigns. Quote, Chanel and Prada may or may not care if Gen Z thinks their products are outrageously priced because they're going after a specific set of consumers. Elf and American Eagles ads, meanwhile, quote, went after people who are not their customers and appealed to people who aren't going to buy their products.
See? There you go.
So, yeah, interesting. So, as you said, they're going to continue to make these flubs. They're going to continue to do things.
Continue.
Right? Even though all of this is why we have so many case studies in marketing and media,
This is why.
because the same things keep happening over and over. People don't learn. People do not learn. And then, the whole thing is there is no perfect formula besides don't offend people, but people will always be offended by something. So
You have to study human psychology. You have to study
Yeah.
culture. You have to know the trends and what's happening with people as they are in the times they are. That's very important. Otherwise, you're marketing like you're Don Draper from the 1950s or whenever, 50s or 60s or
Mad
whenever
Men.
that was.
Mhm.
No, that's why I'm like, marketing isn't done that way anymore because that was a time period. Now, if you're going after nostalgia, that's a different thing. But okay, how are people feeling? What's the job market like? What's the consumer confidence index? How are people feeling? What's going on in the world? Is there turmoil and people feeling great? All of these things you must take into account. But these corporations and brands don't care and they do boneheaded things because we want to sell you something.
Yeah.
We don't care.
Absolutely.
So
Absolutely. So, before we get out of here, because we are at time, what is one marketing / social media lesson that you want to leave us with that it doesn't have to be connected to this, but you can be. Leave us with something.
Read the room. Read the room. And what I mean read the room is, and I always talk to business owners about this, spend some time on social media. You don't have to spend all day. Spend 5-10 minutes in the morning, in the afternoon, in the evening, because you can get sucked in. It happens to me. I'd stay off of Facebook and all these other, because I'll just start scrolling and I'm losing track of time. So I'm like, I look at what's going on, I read the story, and I like, oh, that's interesting, and I put it to the side. Or I see some things going on with my feed, and I see some of the conversations that are happening with people in my group, because I curate my feed. I follow the people that I don't follow nonsense. I follow business-minded people, or people in this group or that, but I will still get some entertainment stuff. It will find me, and I go, that's interesting, and I follow it away until somebody asked me a question. I said, you know what? I saw that. I heard that. This is da 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 da. But spend some time looking at the content and not the entertainment part of it, but the conversations. There's a gold happening, especially on threads. There's a lot of good stuff happening, and you have to pick the thread. And you have to say, what's going on now? What are people talking about? How can I connect my content to that? So spend some time online. Spend some time doing the thing that you want to see happen. Follow the people that you connect with. but also dip your toe in the world of what's going on out there. Like, what's going on with that group? Why are these people talking about that? And just spend a little time, and then okay, that's enough. And then I just jump back into the things that I'm interested in. And here's another thing, because you get overwhelmed. There's so much happening in the world online. There's so much content, so many things for people to be angry about or to be this and that. Find the space that makes you happy. But spend some time online looking in different, just peeking. Peek at Facebook, peek at Instagram, peek into LinkedIn, peek at Pinterest. Just take a look and say, what's going on? Okay, I've had enough. You got to know when to cut it off for yourself. Otherwise, you get sucked into what's going on with this, that, and the other, and you lost time. So I never want you to waste time online. That's what I have to say.
Don't waste time online. Pay attention to what's going on.
Pay attention.
I love that. I love that. And I put this up already, but you can reach Terry at all over social media, Terry Johnson Online, but you can also go to her website, terryjohnsononline.com. So make sure that you are connecting with her. She is an amazing individual. If you want to follow her for good advice, or maybe you want to work with her, make sure that you are checking her out here. And then also, she's got a show, right, on Indie Soup, but she also does a segment on Tuesdays with the Biz Chicks, all about marketing. And Ask TJ About Marketing. You can find her on Indie Soup on Tuesdays Mondays at 6:30 p.m. Eastern Time. Yeah. All your marketing questions answered. And it's an amazing show. So make sure that you check that out as well.
And I also, I answer questions, not just on the Monday show. You can ask me a question anytime. I love it.
There you go. Questions. That's why you want to check her out at terryjohnsononline.com. She knows her stuff, and we're going to have her back. Terry, thank you so very much for coming on and having this second part of the conversation with me. This was great, and I'm glad. I feel accomplished because we got through all those stories now.
Yeah, so, we did it. We did it. The Cracker Barrel one took up all of the time, which was a big story.
It took up all of the time last week. It was a really big story, but we wanted to cover these too. So I'm glad that you were able to come back and help us cover these as well. Well, we've done it, and we did it in just about an hour. So I'm proud of us. And we're going to let you all go so that you can get to your Friday evening. Lots going on. We'll let you get to it. But hopefully we will see you back here next week. Same bat time, same bat channel. And with that, I'm going to end the way I always end. I love you for watching or listening. Bid you adieu. You guys, myself, Terry Johnson, and all of this great information, we are exiting stage left. So until next week, everyone, cheers.
Close the doors, walk across the corridor. We got something to show you. Media is our repertoire. Fed up with the same news, no channel to use. Cruise control mentalities. Here we offer you. We gon' show you on the way. The content it never stays, but positive and uplifting. Once a week, the scope gifted. Let's hear what you fake. Hydration.